In the Break Room with TWU Local 555, the podcast is back. I'm Eric Peterson, Communications Director for the Local and host of the show. We're continuing our Getting to Know Your District Rep series. We have 5 new district reps, including one from a brand new district. But today we're going to talk to the new district rep from District 1. Please go back to the old episodes and listen to our incumbent district reps. You never know if you're going to move into one of their cities. You never know if they're going to move to one of your cities. You never know if they're going to be part of a committee that you want to be part of. It's just good to know who you have working for you here in Dallas and out around the country. So please do. Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, Amazon, all that stuff. Let's get to the show, though. We're going to talk to the new district rep from District 1 next in the Break Room. All right, George. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. George Davis from Baltimore, correct?
Correct.
All righty. How long have you been with the company, George?
I've been with the company 25 years. As of July the 30th this year, be 25 years.
25 years, all in Baltimore?
One time I was the rep in Baltimore, and I left there to become the rep in DCA. And then I spent a lot of time at DCA, and just recently, before the election, September, I came back.
So are those the 2 union positions you've been involved in?
Yeah.
What made you want to get involved with that?
I started out in Provo. One of the popular older reps, Eric Thorne, was real popular back in the day when I got hired. Lo and behold, I was terminated in my early years. Eric Thorne got me back, and since then I hit the ground running, and I transferred I went from Provo to the ramp. My good friend Kevin Talbert got me interested in the local.
It's not an uncommon story. You know, you need a rep, and then you see how they help you, and then you want to turn around and do that for your brothers and sisters.
Very correct.
That's kind of what happened to you. So what made you want to run for district rep in District 1?
I'd always wanted to do it. Just life situations didn't happen. I got married, had kids, and so when the opportunity came, I received a phone call from one of my good friends. I was Sean Breeden, my alternate, and he said, "I think we should run." He said, "I think you would do good," and called a couple of people and asked, did a survey, asking individuals, and they said, "George, I think it's your time." And so I ran, and I won. And I love to argue. I love to talk. As a licensed preacher, minister of the gospel, talking is what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my alternate, I was the rep, he was the alternate rep. We were able to get a lot of people their jobs back and do a lot of things. And we officially call ourselves the Dream Team. It was time for us to get back together, do what we love to do. And that is to advocate for the members and support the members and help the members in any way.
And what were the priorities that when you went out there and you were campaigning, what were the priorities that you brought to the members that you said you were going to bring here?
My priorities were to effective communication, to talk with the members, to let the members know what's going on, good, bad, the ugly, let them know what was going on, to help let them know the process of their grievance, where it was at, where it was going, and then to help educate, and help educate the reps as well. Because you see a whole lot of things going on that, in my mind and what I know about the contract, were wrong. And I thought it was just time for the members to really be educated, to know what was going on. So we ran on that, ran on transparency, just being open and honest about what this looks like. And just basically, like I stated before, just being transparent and on that, that's just some of the platforms and honesty. I think that was some of the things that people felt like people weren't being honest about what was going on. I have nothing bad to say about anybody. I didn't say bad about my opponent. I'm still not going to say anything bad about him. That's not my job. My job, I ran on just what I could do. And I know as the district rep, I knew I have done the rep job good and had settled grievances and settled terminations. And so I said, it's time for me to step up and take the role.
You know, you mentioned that you're a pastor. That's got to be an advantage for you because, you know how to talk to people who are going through difficult situations, but with grace.
Yes. Being a preacher does help me in this position because you have to know how to talk. I'm a firm believer that the Bible says you become all things to all people. And so sometimes you have to put yourself in different roles, in different titles. And you have to know, being a district rep is also, as a regular rep, you're not only just a rep, but you're part of every people's lives. You hear about things going on in people's personal lives, and some people ask you for advice. And so being in this role, I'm able to advocate and use that experience of being a broad, open speaker. But just now I'm not just talking to the masses of the District 1. When I get into the meeting with labor, I'm directly communicating with him, effectively communicating with him. This is what this looks like. Open your eyes to, don't just look at what's on the grievance. Don't just look on the discipline letter. You have to look at the human nature. And so, and that has turned out to be a good, so far, it has turned out a good relationship with labor so far. Everything, not everything, but majority of stuff I've asked for, I've gotten so far.
Right on. What do you want to see for your district in 3 years?
In 3 years, I want to see for the district, I want to see more of the membership becoming more vocal and active. I want to see District 1 is only, Baltimore is my biggest district. I love Baltimore, but Baltimore is not the whole district.
Right.
I want to see my smaller stations come alive, be a part of more committees, to get involved more with the local. I also, one of the initiatives I'm doing that was done in the past, but I'm taking a more key role in it, is to help educate not just the reps, but the members of the district. Spending time. DCA, I just popped up. Didn't tell nobody I was coming, not even a rep. I have a badge for some of my cities, and those cities I have a badge for, I just pop up, and I sit in the break room. They say, George, what happened? Why are you here? I said, I just come home. Instead of working from home or at the union office, I decided to come to work here today. I was just in Boston and just showed up and started working. It's just one of those things where I really want to see District 1 explode on the scene. I believe there's some young people who have the same apparitions or same wants that I have, to want to be a district rep, who wants to be big, wants to take a more active role in the local. And I want to educate them and show them. I'm 45. I want to show the next coming generation how to do this job, how to take over, how to move us forward.
Well, this is kind of, you touched on a lot of it right there, but it's kind of, this is my general last question that I ask everybody, and that is, how can the members help you help them? You touched on a lot of it, but if there's anything you want to add.
No, the members can help me. One, always when you have any kind of altercation with the supervisor or communication, take notes, write a statement. Just don't let the supervisor speak for you. Speak for yourself. Write a statement. Tell your version of the story. Can't nobody tell the story better than you. And so if the supervisor told you to do something, and the supervisor's going to make himself look good for the discipline letter that he wants to give you. But if I have your version of the truth, then I can go to labor and say, this is what my fellow union person is saying. This is what actually happened. This is what went on. And the other part of that is, if you see your union brother or sister being done wrong, speak up, say something, because not everybody has the confidence. Yeah, have the confidence to speak up. Speak up for them. Write a statement on their behalf. Be their witness. And I think if we do those things, I think the local itself become better. We don't need to be the police. We just need to, if you see something wrong, tell the union rep first. Let the union rep deal with the situation before you let the company deal with the situation.
That is great advice, George Davis. Thank you so much for coming in the break. You're from Baltimore, District 1. Thank you again.
Thank you, man.
All right, this is In the Break Room with TWU Local 555. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, host the podcast, talk about the podcast. I'll say podcast one more time. Follow us on social media at TWU Local 555, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Bookmark our website, twu555.org. For George Davis, District 1 Representative, I'm Eric Peterson. Remember, we are all 555.